So, the Aliexpress exhaust has made it to the UK, to my house. Let's do a little unboxing, ready for the new fitment. So, this is going to be interesting. Never done anything like this on this scale. Tail tide is a little bit different, but yeah, let's open everything up and have a look. Open up the headers first. I ain't gonna lie, trying to get that out of the packaging was a bit of a nightmare. I'm glad I did that off a camera. But overall,
I'm sorry I jumped to that conclusion.
There doesn't seem any damage with the pipe itself. Let's just check this out. Waiting to be. No dents, no bends where there shouldn't be a bend. Yeah, I'd say that looks fine to me. So this is the part with the CO2 sensor screws into. And I'm just looking at the welds itself. Look really decent. Again, I'm no welder, so I couldn't tell you what decent actually is. So next on package, I don't know the actual names of the parts, so you just have to bear with me. But I'm gonna call this part the splitter. And then the part I'm sure a lot of people are interested to see is the actual muffler itself. So I wanted something that was going to be stylish, but yet not too in your face. So this KO Lightning one seemed like it would do the job. Didn't want any kind of fake carbon fibre tips or anything like that, so I've just gone with a stainless steel / black. So yeah, I'm going to put this together, just get an idea of what it's looking like. So like I said, just a loosely fit together. So one last time, I'm going to start the bike up with the stock exhaust. So, let's get into stripping this thing off. Start with the O2 sensor. And then we'll go with the bolts for the header. Then the gear shifter. Yeah, it should come off nice and easy, I think. Fingers crossed. So first thing I need to do is just work out the correct size to undo the O2 sensor. It's not that one. There we go. So that's an 18mm spanner. 18mm. Is what I'm using. That wasn't too tight. There you go, so that's the O2 sensor disconnected now. 18mm spanner. Next is get underneath and do them 4 bolts loosely. I'm not going to do them all the way, just going to loosen them off. Okay, so the socket that's needed to undo the bolts on the headers are a 12mm socket. And so I'm just going to unloosen these rather than take them all the way. So that's nice and loose. So that's all 4 bolts now undone from the headers. And I'm going to come around to this side and undo this bolt here, which will drop the gear arm, and I should be able to access the bolt that's through there. Okay, so that one is a 6mm Allen nut, or hex nut, sorry. So I'm just going to take this off now. Okay, so that's that. Just going to drop the arm there. There you go, that's out. So inside there is a little bolt that I need to undo. That should then release that, and the exhaust should be then ready to drop off. Obviously I will support the exhaust so it doesn't just collapse and hangs. Okay, so that turned out to be a 12mm socket for the bolt that's inside there, that's holding the exhaust up. Okay, so now I've undone that bar in there. The header bolts are undone, the CO2 sensors undone. Just going to go around to the other side and just assess where we are. Right, so now I've managed to get the bolt pretty much all the way out. The next pull will probably let the exhaust hang down. Okay, so that's all 4 header bolts out now. So the headers are very loose. The next thing I need to do is just pull on this bar here, slide that out, and then the exhaust should just naturally drop, but obviously it is supported underneath. Okay, so the exhaust is now off. The support didn't support, so it just naturally fell on the floor. Good job it didn't have a long way to go down, so there's no damage. So the old exhaust is out. It's got a bit of weight to it as well, to be fair. So now it's time to assemble as we go. So step by step, let's do it. Okay, so what I've done is got inside there and just cleaned up the faces just for when the new exhaust goes on. It's nice and clean. Okay, so that's the first header on. Nothing's done tight, it's literally just to make sure we're going in the right direction, because if not, I'm going to have to undo it. I feel like I'm already going to have to undo it by the time this one goes in. Which I feel is right. I feel like this one is on that side and that one is on this side. So let's have a little play around. Okay, so switching that pipe over, it definitely looks like it's in the right place now. I'm going to put the next one on and then have a look from there. Because now I'm looking at it on this side, and this side looks like it's wrong. A lot of playing around, we'll get there. Alright, so a bit of faffing around. I think I've got the headers in correctly. I've had to reroute the CO2 sensor because on the new exhaust it's all the way over here, and on the old exhaust it was over there, but that was easy enough to do. Just about to put the hanger bar in so I can get the muffler on and then get the springs on, tighten everything up and see where we're at. But yeah, a lot of faffing around, but I think it's looking right. Only time will tell, but let's move on. Okay, so a little bit of fiddling around, a few tweaks, but the exhaust is now on. Nothing's tight on it yet, but the exhaust is on. So this is pretty much what it's going to look like, where everything's going to be. Like I said, the O2 sensor originally came down here on this little hanger. That's originally where it was, but I've had to reroute it so it's over here. Simply because it didn't reach where it originally was. But yeah, so I'm going to tighten things up, put the springs on, and then see where we're sitting there. Not bad. Okay, so exhaust is now on, springs are on. Springs were fun, not. Exhaust is on the hanger. Yeah, looking all right. Nice and sturdy. So, moment of truth time. We successfully fitted a new exhaust to the Kawasaki Z650RS. Moment of truth. At the moment it does have the DB in. We'll see what it sounds like within, and then we'll see what it sounds like without. But for now, so just letting out a little bit of air around the Jubilee clip. So just gonna go tighten it up a little bit more. Be back. Let's start it up again. goes back. It's still sounding a little bit too tinny, so I thought I'd decide to see what it sounded like without the baffling. And yeah, let's see. It's a lot more deeper. A lot of backfiring though. I think this might be a debatable job, whether to keep the DB in or keep it out. DB in or DB out, that is the question now. Sounds nice.